Brother Jerry, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you very much for coming to see us today.
Thank you for having me.
And we are really eager to hear from you how you made this journey to Islam. I understand that you made the Shahada in 2019.
That's right. That's right.
How was the journey? How did you come to know about Islam?
Well, as well as most of us Danes, we do meet Muslims everywhere in our society, and for me also, I went to school with a lot of Muslims and so on. So I have known Muslims all my life.
So you had some idea.
I had some idea, but what happened for me was that when I was 18 years old, I became a true believer in Christianity. So I became a true Christian, and I went to church every Sunday and prayed to Jesus, prayed to God, and I was a very firm believer.
At the age of 18, that's a bit strange, isn't it? Because usually at this age, young men become less religious and not more religious.
That's right. But you know, I was curious about life. What is the purpose of my life? Why am I here on this earth? Is it all a coincidence? Is it the meaning of life was very important for me.
So you went to church.
So I went to church, yeah, and yeah. So I did, yeah, and I was a very strong and very firm believer in Christianity, and read the whole Bible, and also attended Bible school, and learned about Christianity also in the original language and so on. So
yes.
Yeah. So
how where is the connection? How did that connect to your interest in Islam?
Yeah, what happened to me was that I came. I was in a certain church, and there I experienced some things that was not good. You know, humans are humans, and sometimes humans twist the will of the word of God, if you can say that. So what happened to me was that I came in a bit of a crisis. In a faith crisis, you can say.
You were disappointed?
I was both disappointed and confused, because what was the word of God, and what was the word of man? You know, there's a big difference.
True.
And to me, I experienced that my faith, my space with God was somehow what do you say?
Invaded?
Yeah, invaded by humans, actually, by a human voice, and the leader of this church told me a lot what to do and what not to do, and so the voice of God, you can say, was disturbed by the voice of man. And I was confused and disappointed also. And in that process, I started to read about different religions. You know.
You went on search.
I went on search. I went on my journey. So I wrote a lot about Buddhism and Hinduism, and I attended some courses to learn to meditate, and
wow.
And yeah, so for a long time I thought I would be for a long time I thought I would be a Buddhist. I would become a Buddhist.
Well, Buddhism attracts many Westerners.
It does, because it's about being calm, and there's also some beautiful things in it, you know, to accept life as it is and so on. just interrupt me anytime you want to.
No, you're doing well. So you started searching and you were impressed by Buddhism.
Yeah, I was impressed by Buddhism. I also read about Hinduism, but that even made me more confused because they have a lot of gods. You know, I think it's 300 or something. So I just got more confused.
Do you know who has a lot more gods than the Hindus?
No.
The Shintos.
Oh, the Shintos.
In Japan.
All right.
They call when I went to Japan, they told me that this is called the religion of the 8 million gods.
Oh my! It's a lot of gods.
Yes, lots, too many of them,
and a lot of confusion. Perhaps.
So what happens then?
What happened? What happened was that there was at that time there was a lot of terrorism going on in the world, and especially in here in Europe. We talk about a lot about terrorism and Islam and all of that. So, and I thought to myself on this journey, on this spiritual journey, I thought to myself, well, there are 1.8 billion Muslims in the world. And they cannot all be evil. they cannot all be killers, So I decided that I wanted to read the Quran.
Subhanallah, because they were accusing the Muslims of terrorism.
Yes, exactly.
That made you curious.
That made me curious, and I thought to myself, this can't be true because I know a lot of good Muslims.
Oh, because you knew some of them.
Yeah, I knew some of them, and I see Muslims in my society, and also I know from experience because I have a disability. My disability is called cerebral palsy.
Oh.
And I was born because I was born too early. So I had this condition all my life. And I know from experience that when I need help, if I need help when I'm outside, when I'm in the supermarket, or it could be anywhere outside my home, when I need help, if I ask a Muslim, they will always help me.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, I know this. So I thought to myself, why is that? Why are we talking about Islam and terrorism and being evil and all of that when the people are so nice?
So you started reading the Quran
and treat me with respect and helping me. Yeah. So I started. So I found a very bad translation in Danish. I found out later, and I started to read it.
I heard people tell me that they prefer an English translation.
Yeah. Well, we got some translations now, which is better.
Better translations.
But at that time, it was not so good. So I started to read the Quran, and of course I knew the Bible, right? So I could see there was a lot of similarities.
You started comparing.
Yes, exactly. and also I don't know how to describe it, but it was just like the Bible. Oh, sorry, excuse me. The Quran spoke right to my heart, right into my heart, and it's a very strange feeling, and it's I don't know how if I can describe it, but it was like it started to tickle inside of me. And actually, at some point when I read the Quran, I don't remember when, but at some point, I just wanted to lay down on the floor and just surrender.
Yes.
To God, surrender to God, surrender to Allah once again. And because I've been, as I saw it, I've been away from God and trying to to find God, actually.
And then you found him.
And then I found him suddenly, yeah. And yeah, so at some point in my search, in my reading, I wanted to lay down on the floor and just surrender.
Were you just reading the Quran by yourself, or you had someone explaining things to you?
No, because I didn't want anyone to explain anything.
You wanted yourself to find out.
I wanted myself to find out. I didn't want the voice of man, no?
Oh, because of your past experience.
Yes. So I didn't want anyone to interrupt me or to tell me anything. I just wanted to read this and see if it was true. And also to see if I could find some explanations. Do the Quran allow terrorism? Do the Islam allow terrorism? So on. Can I find this in the Quran?
You were looking for it.
Yeah, I was looking for it. Yeah. So and the more the more I fell in love with the religion. And it's like those of us who have tried to fall in love, we know the experience, right? We know that it starts to tickle inside, and you get very excited, and you can't wait to meet the one that you are in love with, and so on. And I sort of had the same relationship with the Quran, that I couldn't wait to read when I had time during the day, and it just tickled and tickled and tickled and tickled. But also at the same time, I was afraid.
Afraid of what?
Once again, the voice of man. But that also was what attracted me to Islam, was that I had my own space with Allah. There's no one in between me and Allah. And when I pray today, I go directly to my Creator. Not a priest, not some human, but directly to my Creator. And that was so attractive to me, to have that space, that I could talk directly to my Creator. And that's really attractive. That was the reason that I fell in love with Islam.
And then you made the decision that this is what I want.
Then I waited for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. What happened was that I called. I believe it was after 1 year, maybe. I called a man I know from school. I went to school with, one of my old friends, and he hasn't heard from. And he was a Muslim, and he hasn't heard from me in like 10, 15 years.
Wow, from school time.
Yeah. And then I called him and just said, "Hello, it's Jerry, it's me. Can you teach me how to pray?" And that's all I said. And nearly he just, lost the phone and said, "What?" He said to me, "What?" And then I said, "Can you teach me how to pray? As a Muslim, I would like to learn to pray as a Muslim." And he said, "Yeah, of course I can. Just let me get back to you." All right. So I don't know how long time that went by. Maybe a day, 2 days, 3 days. And then he called me and said, "Well, Jerry, yeah, I am a Muslim, that's true, but I don't have a lot of knowledge about Islam. But I have a cousin, and he knows a lot about Islam. So I want you to meet him and talk with him So because we can also we can show you how to pray and how to do, you know, all the things you should do, but you also have to know what you're doing.
You need to have the knowledge.
I need to have the knowledge. And he knows a lot about Islam, he said, my cousin. So I wanted to meet him. So I want to invite you over to my house, and we will have some food, and then we can talk about Islam, and you can ask any question you want, and so on. And my friend here, he's from Pakistan, so the food was very good.
What did they prepare? Curry? Biryani, maybe?
I think it was samosa. I don't actually remember, but
anyway, their food is nice.
But
anyway.
the food is excellent. Maybe butter chicken, I don't know actually, but the food was very good. So I couldn't resist. So I had to go over to him, and we had some food, and they were very nice, and I remember, you know, I wasn't a Muslim, so when they started to pray, I was just looking at them praying. You know,
you were watching them.
I was watching them, and said, wow, that's to kneel before God like that. I mean, that's incredible. That's wow. That really, yeah. And so I just watched, and we talked, and I asked a lot of questions. I don't know how many, but a lot. So I think I went to see them for once a week, maybe for half a year.
Wow, it took some time.
Yeah, it took really some time, because I was really afraid to get into something wrong, you know, to be controlled by humans, you know, because that was my experience, that I had been controlled by humans, by my leader from this church.
Subhanallah, this is very interesting, because you yourself, you were anxious. You wanted to make sure you were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make sure that you understood what you were getting into.
Yeah.
That's why they were having these meetings.
Yes, exactly. And also I think to guide me in the right directions, you know, because there's a lot of you can get caught up in different things.
True.
You know, so it's very important to listen to people who have knowledge and who are wise, and also have the knowledge of the heart. I think it's very.
So it took half a year.
So yeah, even longer than that, because it took nearly a year, because then, you know, Shaitan is always on the move also, you know, so
deterring you, frightening
me, and for me, a woman came along and got me away from Islam once again, and then when I ended that relationship, I felt the yearning to Islam once more. And also by that time I was involved in politics. I was running for city hall in my city. So I met a Muslim woman in my political party, and I could just feel that she was, you know, she was a Muslim, yeah, but she was very, you know, joyful, and
liberal,
friendly, and liberal, yeah, also. So we talked a lot, and I talked with her daughters. Also, she has 3 daughters, and so on. And then one day I just texted them and said, "How are you doing?" And then they said, well, we're doing great, but we are in the masjid right now. We're in the mosque attending some teaching, so we can't talk right now. Okay, so then I wrote, well, okay, then everything is fine. I know, because you're in the masjid, right? So and she said to me, well, you should come someday and just watch the teaching and so on. So I came one Sunday. There was some teaching
Here in this center?
Here, right here, and I just came and just listened to it, and thought to myself, well, that's nice. I like it. I really, I like it, and the message is good. It's a good message. Yeah. So what I did, this was Sunday, so I decided that I wanted to go to prayer on Friday by myself.
The following Friday.
Yeah, the following Friday. Just to have that experience. So I came, and I was very scared because everybody was shouting and there was a lot of noise going on, and so I was a bit scared and tried to keep to myself. And there was a man who was sitting just outside the mosque, and I asked him to help me to get inside. And that was my brother Dean.
Oh,
yeah,
Brother Dean.
Yeah, that was my brother Dean. And he said, he's also a convert. So he said to me, well, do you have any questions? If you want to, you can get my number. And I said, no, I don't want that. I just want to sit here and listen and observe. I just want to be here. So if I need, I thought to myself, if I need anything, I will be the one who's contacting him, So I refused.
Still cautious.
Very cautious. I refused to get his number, And but then, I liked this prayer. I didn't understand anything about the message because it was in Arabic, and I didn't know how to do my salah. I didn't know how to pray, but I liked it. I could feel it in my heart, and then this was the right thing for me. So I came the week after, and the week after, and the week after again, and then I met Dean every time he was there. So we started to talk, and he said to me, "Well, Jerry, we got some teaching for converts or people who are curious about Islam, and we have it every Thursday, right here, and we also eat pizza." and drink soft drinks.
Well, pizza is good.
Pizza is good, and soft drinks are good. So what's not to like? So once again, the food was the key. So I came and listened to the teaching, and I was here, I think, maybe for 3 months. I think just. Or maybe less. I actually don't recall. But for some time, I was here listening to the teaching for converts, and it was very good teaching. It was very, easy, very easy steps. Very what do you call it?
Gradual.
Yeah, that would be the word. Gradual, I think.
And it took you really some good time. I mean,
And it took me really some time, yeah. But then I thought to myself at one point, I thought to myself, well, Jerry,
It's time.
Yeah, you believe in this, right? You do. And at that time, I already stopped to eat pork, and drink alcohol at that time. So
So you were ready.
So yeah, so I decided, well, I'm living this life already, so why don't take the full step? No. So I called the lady, the family of the lady that I met in politics, and I said to her, to one of her daughters, I said to her, well, I want to become a Muslim. And she said, what? So yeah, I said, I really want to become a Muslim. And I called my brother Dean, and I said, well, I want to be a Muslim. So how do I do that? How do I become a Muslim?
It's easy.
And he said to me, yeah, it's very easy.
It's between you and Allah.
Actually, he said, that was exactly what he said. He said, actually, you can say it to God. You can say it to Allah that you want to be a Muslim, and then you're a Muslim. But some people, they gather with some friends, and we say that we had it together, and we can also do that. So I decided that I wanted to, if they wanted, excuse me.
It's okay. Take your time.
That I wanted to take my shahada with this family. So
in their presence.
In their presence. So I called them and I asked them if it was okay. And well,
they'd be excited.
Really, they are quite excited.
Yeah.
And what happened was that they told the whole neighborhood.
Everybody came.
That I was going to be a Muslim, you know. So yeah. So they were very excited. So it was a Sunday noon, I think. We met in their home, and the weather was beautiful. It was July, and so on. So we met, and we talked a little bit, and then Dean, he guided me through the shahada, and
MashaAllah.
And I became a Muslim, and I got some chocolate, and I also got some chocolate. and then time. So yeah.
It's a very nice, beautiful story.
Yeah, and I know it's quite long, but it's
really nice. And alhamdulillah, it's Allah's guidance, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I believe that's the key, actually.
It is.
Because you cannot pressure or force people into believing.
No,
you know?
It has to be out of complete free will.
Yeah.
Allah ikraha fi din, no compulsion in religion.
Exactly.
Well, Brother Jerry, it's been really a great pleasure meeting you and talking to you.
Likewise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.